Hello students, now let's continue about the optimal solution to NTP. Optimal solution to a TP. From above methods, above means initial basic feasible solutions methods, we have got different transportation cost. This indicates that still there is a hope to minimize the transportation cost. So we are looking further for new solution, and that new solution is nothing but the what? Optimal solution. That is optimal solution. Now there is one method to determine the optimal solution to a transportation problem, and that method is known as modified distribution method or UV method. Modified distribution method is also known as MODI method. Modified distribution or it is known as MODI method. MODI or MODI, you can say whatever pronunciation, or UV method, or it is also known as UV method. Now what are the steps of this method? Let's see them. This method involves the steps. This method has the following steps. So step 1, find an initial basic feasible solution if not given. Step 2, check it for degeneracy. If it is degenerate, make it non-degenerate. Step 3, says, first part in that, calculations of UI and VJ for occupied cells. Occupied cells. For occupied cells. For this, solve ui plus vj equal to Cij. Cij is the cost for that cell. For all ij to get, for all ij, now other thing, to get all ui and vj, set all ui and vj set either ui or vj is 0. Any one of the ui or vj we have to set as a 0, then we can easily determine other one. Okay, now in the same one, b part, that this is calculation for occupied cell. Now the calculation for unoccupied cells, that is known as net evaluations. Calculations of net evaluations. Net evaluations, or that is also known as opportunity cost. Opportunity cost for unoccupied cell. For unoccupied cells. This is other part here. So let's, what does the condition here? Let's see that. Here we have to calculate delta ij, that will be zij minus cij, that is ui plus vj. Zij is this ui plus vj minus cij, minus cig. This is the calculation. For each unoccupied cell we have to do this. After finding ui and vj, we can easily determine this delta ij. Now step 4. It is about the conclusion. If all delta ij less than 0, this says the current solution is optimal. Current solution is optimal and unique. Current solution is optimal and unique. You can name it as first. Second, if some delta ij equal to 0, that indicates alternate solution exists. Alternate solution exists. Third, if any delta ij is greater than 0, this says the current solution, if any delta ij is greater than 0, it says the current solution is not optimal. Is not optimal. we need to improve the next table. We need to improve the next table, and that can be had by identifying a loop, and by identifying a loop. Now from where the loop we have to start? The loop we will start from the cell of highest positive delta ij. A loop starting from a cell of highest positive delta ij. Now here again make allocations and test for optimality. Repeat all the things again and test for optimality. If it satisfies, if all delta ij less than 0, then it will be optimal. If sum of them equal to 0, then alternate solution exists. And if anyone will greater than 0, then again the same thing we need to do. Again form a loop and then do the allocations and test for optimality. So remember, the steps are important here. First of all, we have to find initial basic feasible solution if it is not given. You know, we can find initial basic feasible solution using 3 different methods. That is northwest corner method, least cost method, or the Vogel's approximation method. Fine. Now, you know, among these, the Vogel's approximation method is more superior than other two. It gives a minimum cost, so it will be more close. It can give a much closer optimal solution, or sometime it will be an optimal also, most probably. So if it is not mentioned in a question to find the initial basic feasible solution using this and this method, always try to use Vogel's approximation method. Okay, what the second step says, check it for degeneracy. And if it is degenerate, we have to make it non-degenerate. Already I taught you how to make it non-degenerate using a smallest value, that will be an epsilon, at the lowest cost. Step 3 says we have to do the calculations of ui and vj for occupied cells. For that we have the formula ui plus vj equal to cij. And to get all the ui and vj, set either any one ui or vj to 0. The next part, calculations of net evaluations or opportunity cost for unoccupied cells. For that we need to calculate delta ij. Delta ij is zij minus cij, that is ui plus vj minus cij. So using that one, using all the calculations of delta ij, we can decide whether the solution is optimal or not. If all delta ij less than 0, the current solution is optimal as well as it is unique. Now, if sum of delta ij is 0, that indicates alternate solution exists. We can determine that alternate solution using loops again. Next part, if any delta ij is greater than 0, strictly positive, then the current solution is not optimal. We need to improve the next table, and that can be done using a loop. And the loop will start from the cell of highest positive delta ij. Again do the allocations and test for the optimality. As such, this method will be followed. Now let me solve one problem to find whether the solution is optimal or not. Example, test for optimality. Test for optimality. The question is that, now here the initial basic feasible solution is given to us. If it is not given, we can find out it. The costs are 21, 16, 25, 13, 17, 18, 14, 23, 32, 27, then 18 and 41. And the supplies are 11, 13 and 19. Here the demand is 6, 10, 12, 15. Now what is the addition here? 11, 13. So that will be 24 plus 19 will be 43. Now here 15, 12, 27 plus 10, 20, 37 plus 6 is also 43. So it is balanced, so it has a solution. And the initial basic feasible solution is given to us. That will be here the allocation 6, here the allocation 3, here the allocation 7, here it will be 12, here it is 4, and here it is 11. So check here the constraints are satisfied. Okay, fine. Now how many allocations are these? 6 allocations, and number of rows and number of columns are 7, minus 1 will be 6. So it is basic feasible also. Fine. So let's write the solution. Since summation supply equal to summation demand, then TP is balanced. TP is balanced. Now it is balanced, hence the given solution is feasible solution. As it satisfies all constraints. Okay. Now also total number of allocations equal to 6, and that is equal to m plus n minus 1, that is 3 plus 4 minus 1. Okay, therefore it is basic feasible solution. Basic feasible solution. Now let's, as it is basic feasible implies it is non-degenerate solution. Non-degenerate solution. Now let's see the optimality. So let's do the optimality test. Now first 2 steps of it we had done, that it is given solution is initial basic feasible solution, and also it is non-degenerate. So first two steps we have been followed. Now step 3 we have to do, that will be the calculations of ui vj, that is for occupied cell, and for unoccupied cell, that is delta ij. So let's prepare a table first. Now here we need the table of cells with allocations only. So here the cost 21, 16, 25, 13. Here it is 17, 18, 14, 23, 32, 27, 18 and 41. Okay, and allocations here 11, here 4, here 12, here 7, here 3, here 6. Here we have to write u1, u2, u3. Here v1, v2, v3 and v4. So now calculations of ui and vj we will do first. Calculations for occupied cells as ui plus vj equal to Cij for all ui and vj. Now as we have written in theory part that to determine all ui vj we need to set one of them should be 0, any one ui or vj. So we have to set it as 0. So it's better to make take it 0 the ui or vj with more allocations in either a row or a column. Now here in first row only one allocation, so don't set it 0. Now this second row will have 3 allocations, third row has 2 allocations, so this second row is suitable to set as 0 here. So set it as a 0. So let me write setting u2 equal to 0 since has maximum allocations, okay. Now first of all for occupied cell we have to do the calculation. So let me do for 1,4 cell first. So for 1,4 what can we write? It will be u1 plus v4 ij. u1 plus v4 is equal to C14. What is C14? Is 13. So we will write it as u1 plus v4 is equal to what? 13. But here we don't have the value of u1 as well as v4. So first of all we will use this u2 and we can determine this one, so that we can easily determine this u1. So let me keep it as it is. So now for which cell? For this 2,1. So for 2,1 what can we say? This u2 plus v1 is equal to what? C21. That will be u2 is 0 plus v1 is unknown, and that will C21 is how much? 17. So what we get? v1 is equal to what? 17. Okay, so v1 is 17. So I will write it here. Okay, Similarly, what can you say about V2? V2 will be what? For U2. It will be U2 plus V2 equal to C22. And that will be 0 plus V2 equal to how much? 18. So, V2 is how much? 18. Again, you can determine V4. So, for 24, what does it says? U2 plus V4 is equal to C24. So, what does it says? 0 plus V4 is equal to 23. So, implies V4 is equal to what? 23. So, it is 23. So, once we get V4, we can determine U1. So, here what we get? U1 as it is. V4 we will put 23 equal to 13. So, U1 equal to 13 minus 23. That will be U1 equal to what? Minus 10. So, here it will be minus 10. Now, the question is left for V3 and U3. So, let me determine U3 first using this. Look at here, the allocation is here. Here we have V2, so we can easily determine U3 from that. So, for this cell, which one? 3, 2 implies U3 plus V2 is equal to C32. So that will be U3 is unknown for us, but V2 is known to us. It is 18 and C32 is how much? 27. So that gives us U3 is 27 minus 18. So that will be how much? 9. Okay. So U3 is how much? 9. Once we get U3, we can easily determine V3. So for which cell? For 3, 3. It gives us cell 3, 3. What does it gives? U3 plus V3 equal to C3, 3. So, U3 is 9, V3 is unknown, but C3, 3 is 18. That will be the cost of this. So, V3 is equal to what? 18 minus 9. So, that is again what? 9. So, V3 is how much? 9. As such, we can easily determine UI and Vj. Now, the next part, we have to do the calculations for unoccupied cells. Now, calculations for unoccupied cells means which one? This 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, then this 2, 3, 3, 1 and 3, 4. So, for this here we will use the result what? Delta Ij equal to Zij minus Cij, and that is Ui plus Vj minus Cij. So let's do one by one. So for what? 1, 1 we get delta 1, 1, that will be Z11 minus C11, that is U1 plus V1 minus C11. What is U1? Is minus 10 plus V1 is 17 minus C11 is how much? 21. So here it will be 7 minus 21. So it is how much? Minus 40. Now next for 1, 2. For 1, 2 it is delta 1, 2. Delta 1, 2 is Z12 minus C12. You can directly write this part also. It will be U1 plus V2 minus C12. Fine. So U1 is minus 10, V2 is 18 minus 16. So it will be 8 minus 16. So it is minus 8. Fine. For 1, 3. For 1, 3, it will be delta 1, 3. It will be Z13 minus C13. equal to u1 plus v3 minus c13 equal to minus 10 plus 9 minus 25. So it is minus 26. This is minus 1 minus 25, so minus 26. Now for 2 3 cell, for 2 3, delta 2 3 is equal to z23 minus c23, that is u2 plus v3 minus c23. So u2 is 0 plus v3 is 9 minus c23 is 14. So it will be minus 5. Okay. Now for 3 1. For 3 1, it will be delta 3 1 will be z31 minus c31. So it is u3 plus v1 minus c31. So u3 is 9 plus 17 minus 32. So 9 plus 17 will be 26 minus 32. So that will be minus 6. Now for 3 4 cell. So delta 3 4 is equal to z34 minus c34. So it is u3 plus v4 minus c34. That will be 9 plus 23 minus 41. So 23 plus 9 will be 32. 32 minus 41 will be minus 9. Now if you look it carefully, we have to write these delta ij at here. Look at here, we will write them here. Here do such a square. So here I will write minus 14 is this. This one is minus 8. This one is minus 26. Okay. Here this is what? Minus 5. Here it is minus 6. And it is what? Minus 9. Now you can look, all delta ij's are what? Negative. So this is an optimal solution and it is unique also. So using the Modi test. Fine. So let me write here that since all delta ij less than 0 implies current solution is optimal. Current solution is optimal and unique. Current solution is optimal and what? Unique also. Therefore it is optimal as well as unique. Therefore total transportation cost. Finally let's determine total transportation cost. That is 11 into 13 plus 6 into 17 plus 3 into 18 plus 4 into 23 plus 7 into 27 plus 12 into 18. Okay, plus 12 into 18, and that addition is, the total cost is what? That addition will be 796 rupees. 796 rupees. It is an optimal solution. The given solution itself the optimal solution. Now same type of problem let me give to you for checking whether it is optimal or not. Homework. Test for optimality. test for optimality. The problem is that here supply, here demand is given 23, 27, 16, 16, here 12, 17, 20, 51. Here it is, the cost is 22, 28, 12, 32. Okay, and let me give the allocations. Initial basic feasible solution is given to you. Here 30, here 17, 25 and 11, and the supply and demands are 30, 40, 53, and here it is 22, 35, here obviously 25 and here 41. So solve this one as a homework. Take it as a homework. The same type of problem. We will see some more problems of optimality in next video. Thank you.